We get into the first major tech earnings of the reporting season this week, with Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Intel all set to post Q1 results. Roku, Teladoc, Snapchat, and Pins are also scheduled. Overall, the market remains in a holding pattern as the Fed continues to fight with inflation. We'll get an advanced Q4 GDP look on Thursday, and core PCE, the Fed's preferred inflation metric, along with Michigan consumer sentiment to end the week on Friday. It's another episode of your bite-sized weekly market prep, the week ahead preview right now. Monday. The week kicks off again with earnings in focus on Monday. We'll get KO, that is Coke, reporting before the market opens. Now, their shares have dramatically underperformed the overall S&P so far in 2023. Only just last week getting back into positive territory. Analysts have an average earnings estimate for the quarter currently at 64 cents a share, and their full year 23 guidance at about 258 to 260 on the EPS. We've got more regional bank earnings to digest, with Washington Regional Bank set to report their earnings this quarter. And after the close, we've got CLF, Cleveland Cliffs, highly watched regional bank FRC as well, topping the list of earnings names. Liquidity and credit's been a bit of an uncertainty, and it remains a driving force behind price movement for all the regional banks headed to earnings, and FRC in particular will no doubt provide some tradable opportunities. Tuesday kicks off with a jam-packed earnings calendar. Beginning in the pre-market, we'll hear from UPS, Verizon, GM, McDonald's, General Electric, Halliburton, Spotify. I mean, it's just an absolute litany of names, JetBlue and UBS, just to name a few. Spotify shares are always on watch during earnings season. Last quarter, the stock rallied nearly 15% after the company beat on its user growth targets. Most analysts are expecting another positive print from the music streaming giant. There are a few notable economic releases due Tuesday, starting at 9 a.m. We'll get the latest S&P Home Price Index reading for February. At 10 a.m., it's the CB Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index for April, along with new home sales for March and the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Service Index for April. After the close, all eyes will be on Microsoft, or as we like to call it, Softy, as the tech giant is set to deliver its latest quarterly numbers. Last report, the company disappointed with its growth forecasts. Analysts will be paying close attention to the numbers when they are delivered. Even with negative quarterly guidance, most analysts remain positive on the stock heading into this report. Meanwhile, Enphase, Visa, and another well-publicized regional bank, PacWest, will also report after the bell Tuesday. Let's get into Wednesday. We've got Boeing shares on watch ahead of the start of trading. Just 2 weeks ago, the company reported yet another 737 MAX production delay due to an issue with its main manufacturer, Spirit AeroSystems. Most analysts, however, remain positive on the stock ahead of the report after the company secured multiple new orders during Q1. Also pre-market, we keep an eye on economic data starting at 8:30. We've got March durable goods orders coming through, along with some wholesale retail inventories for March. At 10:30, as always, we get the EIA weekly energy inventory data to be released. Meanwhile, right at the bell, Goldman Sachs shares could be on the move. The company set to host its annual shareholder meeting right at 9:30 at the bell. And after the close Wednesday, we're back into monster tech earnings. Meta is set to headline. Most analysts' moves on the stock have been positive, despite many anticipating both sales and profits will be weakening. They are more bullish on revenue than management at this point, worth noting. And globally, it's estimated that digital ad spending, which is a huge metric, will grow to about $422 billion this year. That's a 7.2% higher than it was seen in 2022. Roku, Teladoc, Save, Spirit Airlines, QuantumScape, MAT, all companies set to report after the bell as well. Roku shares could be in for a monster move, with most analysts expecting a larger than expected 4% drop in earnings for the latest quarter. The typically volatile stock will be closely watched Thursday morning as possible trades could set up. Getting right on into Thursday, because there is more economic data to pay attention to. Starting right at 8:30 a.m., we get Q1 GDP. Most economists' estimates are slightly negative for this report. We'll also get jobless claims starting starting at 8:30, and at 10 a.m. we get pending home sales for March. Also Thursday morning at 9 a.m., Pfizer should be on your radar as they're scheduled to kick off its annual shareholder meeting. Now this also happens to be the busiest day of the week for earnings by far, starting in the pre-market with a slew of reports to sift through from the likes of Caterpillar, Crocs, MasterCard, Eli Lilly, Merck. I mean, the list goes on. Hertz will be out there as well, including Mobileye, which I'm very interested in, and that's not even all of them. We're going to be watching STM earnings for any possible fallout that could affect the chip group, and CS should be watched very closely following recent events, obviously with UBS set to acquire the struggling Swiss bank. UBS recently announced it will move forward with the Credit Suisse reported by 3 days. That last report, CS will report before the merger, so the move is seen as a way for UBS to speak more freely on the earnings the following day. After the close, we're in for another monster batch of earnings. Amazon, Snap, Intel, Pinterest, United Steel, and First Solar all scheduled to release reports. As always, eyes will be on big tech, and that means Amazon coming off a slight miss the last quarter. We saw the stock fall off sharply post-earnings in February. Most analysts are negative on expectations set for this report as well, with Amazon shares still up about 20% on the year. We're going to round things off on Friday, and more key economic releases are scheduled. Starting at 8:30 with the Fed's preferred inflation reading, that's core PCE for March. That'll hit the wire at 8:30 in the morning, followed at 9:45 by the Chicago PMI reading for April. The big market mover could come at 10 a.m. with Michigan consumer sentiment, the final reading for April. Energy stocks are in the spotlight with both XOM and Chevron set to report earnings. Now, generally, most analysts are taking a what goes up must come down approach to these reports, as crude oil prices still remain well off highs of over $120 a barrel. And as always, we'll bring you all the live action as it happens on TraderTV Live.